Okay, let's get right into it. For decades, writing a business plan has been this huge, daunting task, right? You're staring at a wall of text, endless spreadsheets, and honestly, a ton of guesswork. But what if we could bring some seriously modern tools to this classic problem? Today, that's exactly what we're going to do. Build a business plan step by step with an AI copilot. That's the dream for any founder, isn't it? The idea that you could take that brilliant idea buzzing around in your head and just poof, the entire strategic document just appears, perfectly formatted, ready for investors, the whole 9 yards. And that is the key thing to remember here. This isn't about replacing you, the visionary founder. It's about giving your brain a superpower. It's about supercharging your research and turning what used to be weeks of work into hours or maybe even just a few minutes. You should really think of AI as your new, incredibly fast and efficient business partner. So where do we even begin? Well, every single great business starts with a story, a really clear, compelling narrative that answers two simple questions. What problem are you solving, and why should anyone care? This is your absolute foundation. This is really where AI first shows its magic, helping you get to the very heart of your idea. So, let's imagine you want to sell some high-end coffee gear. Instead of just saying you sell coffee makers, an AI can help you reframe that. It can help you focus on the customer's desire for a better home coffee ritual. See the difference? It helps you sell the feeling, not just the feature. And that leads to the next crucial step. You gotta learn how to craft the right prompt. A great prompt, like this one right here, doesn't just ask for a list of products. It asks for value propositions that connect with a whole lifestyle. It forces the AI to think about how things look, about personal experience, and about the why behind a purchase. That's how you start building a brand, not just an online store. Okay, so you've got your story down. Now you need to figure out the world that story is going to live in. Who are your customers, really? And who are you up against? This part, the research, this is where projects used to just grind to a halt. Well, not anymore. What's so incredible here is just the raw speed. Things like figuring out your total market size or just identifying your top 5 competitors. Stuff that used to take days of digging through market reports, you can now kick that off with a single prompt. The AI just pulls all that data together and gives you a strategic overview in like moments. And boom, here's what that can look like. With a really simple question, an AI can pull data to help you actually see the potential. Is your idea a tiny little niche, or is it a massive opportunity? Getting this kind of high-level data instantly is just invaluable for deciding whether you need to pivot or if you should charge ahead with confidence. Let's talk about one of the most classic business school tools, the SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Traditionally, this is a really deep, thoughtful process. With AI, you can generate a surprisingly comprehensive first draft in minutes. It gives you this powerful starting point to jump off from for your own strategic thinking. Now listen, specificity is your absolute superpower when you're working with AI. Look at this prompt. It doesn't just say, do a SWOT for a coffee business. No, it includes the sales channel, online, and it includes the brand's vibe, high-end, minimalist aesthetic. The more detail you feed the AI, the more targeted and, frankly, the more useful its analysis is going to be. All right, now for the fun part, actually getting customers. You've got your story, you understand the market. So how do you get people to pay attention? Well, it turns out your AI copilot is also a pretty creative little marketing strategist. You can almost think of it like a 3-stage rocket. First, you use the AI as an idea engine, just brainstorming all kinds of content. Second, you get it to draft some really compelling ad copy tailored for different social media platforms. And then third, you can even use it to help you justify your price point by clearly explaining the premium value that you're offering. Here is a perfect example of that idea engine in action. This prompt is asking for specific, on-brand content for a specific platform, targeting a very specific feeling, that slow living vibe. This is how you go from a generic marketing plan to a really precise, effective content strategy that actually connects with the people you want to reach. All right, let's talk about the part that makes pretty much everyone a little nervous, the numbers. Financials can be super intimidating, but AI can be this incredible tool for bringing structure and, honestly, a lot of clarity to your projections and your funding requests. Now, let's be clear. An AI cannot predict your future revenue. It's not a crystal ball. But what it can do and what it does brilliantly is help you structure your thinking. It can list out all the key things you need for a financial model, like your cost of goods or customer acquisition cost. And it can help you build a really clear, logical case for the money you need. So for our little coffee gear company, let's just say we've decided that this is the number. This is what we need to get off the ground, $20,000. An investor isn't just going to write you a check. They want to know exactly how you're going to spend it. With AI's help, you can create a request that says, look, we need $20,000 and here's the plan. 60% of that is going to secure our first batch of inventory, and the other 40% is going to fund a targeted marketing launch to get our first sales. It's just clear, it's defensible, and it looks professional. You know, a strong plan doesn't just focus on all the good stuff. It anticipates what could go wrong. Using AI for risk assessment is a total game changer. It can spot potential threats, like, say, supply chain issues for imported goods, and it can even suggest ways to handle them. This shows investors you've actually thought through the hard parts, too. So, we have our plan, but let's be real. The goal of a plan isn't to have it sit on a shelf gathering dust. It's to launch. And this is where AI completely changes the game, letting you move faster than ever before by really embracing the ideas of the lean startup. The main idea behind the lean startup is actually pretty simple. Don't spend a year and a ton of money building something that nobody wants. Instead, you build a small version, you test it with real people, you learn from their feedback, and then you improve it. It's this constant cycle of build, measure, learn. So, how does AI speed this all up? Well, step one, you use it to instantly draft what's called a business model canvas. It's just a simple one-page chart that maps out all your core ideas, who your customers are, how you'll make money, all that stuff. AI can help you fill this out in minutes, just getting all those ideas out of your head and onto the page. Step two is honestly mind-blowing. Your minimum viable product, your MVP, it doesn't even have to be a real physical thing yet. You can use image generation AI to create these incredible photorealistic mockups of your coffee gear, put your logo on them, and use those to populate your online store. You can actually test if people want to buy it before you've spent a single dollar on inventory. And finally, the loop closes. As all that feedback, all those comments and questions start rolling in from your test launch, you can use AI to analyze and summarize hundreds of customer comments. It turns all that messy human feedback into clear, actionable data. This lets you refine your whole idea and build a final business plan that isn't based on guesses, but on what real customers actually told you they want. Look, the tools are more accessible and more powerful than they have ever been in history. The gap between a great idea and a real, validated business plan is getting smaller every single day. So the only question left is, what are you going to build?